What's up, Kings? Today's video is an analysis of the book The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. I was actually deeply surprised and happy to find out how relevant his work was to those of us who practice NoFap, semen retention, brahmacharya, because he really talks about an artistic expression, the seed of a gift within every man. And that's the fundamental premise that I really speak to on this channel. I wouldn't make videos if I didn't firmly believe that within every man is that seed of expression, that need to communicate a certain artistry. And that may take several forms, but everyone has this potent ability to express something unique to them. The strongest way to tap into that, of course, is through this ancient discipline that I am so passionate about. And so I want to read excerpts from his book, The Way of the Superior Man. It was an incredible read. I highly recommend it. There's so much within it that is relevant to those of us who are on the path of transforming one type of energy into another. And so that's what I want to get into with this video. Now here's the fundamental premise that David starts with in his book. He says, "The way a man penetrates the world should be the same way he penetrates his woman, not merely for personal gain or pleasure, but to magnify love, openness, and depth. The next time you embrace your woman sexually, feel your ultimate desire, your deepest desire in life. Feel why you are doing anything at all in life, and specifically why you are uniting with your lover. Most men's ultimate reason for doing anything has to do with discovering their deepest truth, enjoying total freedom and love, and giving their fullest gifts. When a man gives his true gift of sex to his woman, he penetrates and blooms her beyond all limits into love. It is the same with the world. A man must know the truth at his core and be willing to give his gifts fully. No holding back. He must be willing to dedicate his sex and his life to magnify love by penetrating woman and world with his true gifts. This willingness is rare. Many men are willing to poke their woman and bloom her in a mediocre way, sharing a few orgasms and a few simple emotional moments of bonding before going over tomorrow's schedule. Many men are willing to poke the world and bloom it in a mediocre way, making a few bucks and contributing enough betterment so that they don't feel like their life is a total waste. But very few men are willing to do the deed for real. Everything they've got to liberate their woman and the world into a deepest genius, their true endowment, the poetry of their very being with every thrust of sex and life." Here's what this passage really awoke in me and made me want to consider. When I first started acting in Los Angeles and pursuing acting professionally, I was so preoccupied with giving a correct performance, acting like what is appropriate. I wanted to do the part right. And one thing that I found that's changed within my performance, within my acting, after doing the path of brahmacharya, is that I'm no longer preoccupied at all with the correct way of doing anything in life. In fact, the practice of brahmacharya, the practice of cultivating this much life within you, actually brings about a certain violence in your execution. Not violence in your temperament necessarily. If you're doing meditation, then you are able to balance out, the dark side, the monstrous qualities that might accompany this potency. But a lack of correctness and just, this is the emotion of the moment. This is what I am feeling. And so there is just a sheer potency that accompanies the man who's willing to just do a thing all the way, take a deed all the way down the line without worrying about, playing it correctly entirely. And I think that's what David Deida is expressing in these opening lines of this incredible book. The fact that most men poke and bloom at the world, poke and bloom in their artistry in a very mediocre way, in a very uninspired kind of copycatish way. And what true artistry is, at least the way I'm discovering it right now, is just honoring what is coming out, honoring the best within you, without any consideration, without any filtering or over-filtering of what your expression is. You will probably find as you do this discipline that if you're playing the guitar, you'll do some weird stuff as you write a new song. You'll try things you've never tried before, and this strange, almost violent character in the execution of your artistry may come out, but it's not a bad thing at all. It's really, you're becoming a maverick of your own artistry, and that's a beautiful way of starting this book, I was instantly hooked. Further on in the book, David Deida talks about ejaculation within the male body and how it actually hinders or limits his ability to have an edge as he engages with the world. This might be the best chapter in the book. It's called Ejaculation Should Be Converted or Consciously Chosen, and here are the best bits that I got from it. There are many physical and spiritual reasons why ejaculation should be converted into non-ejaculatory, whole-body brain or heart orgasms, but there are also relational reasons. When a man has no control over his ejaculation, he cannot meet his woman sexually or emotionally. She knows she can deplete him, weaken him, empty him of life force. When a man ejaculates easily, he creates ongoing distrust in his woman. At a subtle level, she feels he cannot be trusted. She and the world can deplete and depolarize him easily. This subtle distrust will pervade the relationship. Notice how you feel in the minutes and days following ejaculation. If you have accumulated a lot of tension in your daily life, ejaculation will afford you a temporary release and relaxation. But as you live your life with more and more true purpose, you won't accumulate so much tension during the day. Then you will discover that ejaculation, for the most part, actually depletes and weakens you. It feels great for a few moments, but the price you pay for that genital sneeze, I love that phrase, genital sneeze, is a much higher level of mediocrity in your daily life. I'm going to read that once more. The price you pay for that genital sneeze of ejaculation is a much higher level of mediocrity in your daily life. You will find that you just don't have that extra necessary gusto to live your life with utter impeccability. Excess ejaculation paves the road to living a good life, but not a great life. In a subtle way, excess ejaculations will diminish your courage to take risks professionally and spiritually. You will settle for doing enough to get by, to get comfortable, but you will find that you would rather watch TV than write your novel, meditate, or make that important phone call. You will have enough motivation to live a decent life, but ejaculations drain you of the cutting through energy that is necessary to pierce your own wall of lethargy and slice through the obstructions that arise in the world. Your gift will remain largely ungiven. I think one thing that many entrepreneurs and creatives struggle with is breaking through a wall of lethargy and especially a wall of uncertainty when trying to bring to life something that didn't exist before. It requires more than a stepping out in faith. It requires gusto. And that gusto can very potently come from this discipline. So often you'll find that you will be terrified of the thing you have to do, such as making that important phone call, such as asking the girl that you might be in like with or in love with, asking her out on a date. But that fear cannot compete with the sheer fire of energy within you. It's almost as if that line in Limitless where he says, if I felt like I stopped moving, I would be dying. Like I had to keep moving. That's something that really clicks in on this. You have to keep moving, and even if that means facing your fears, it is far easier to face your fears than to give up that momentum when you are so brimming with life force energy. And that's one of the reasons why a man has a cutting through energy on this discipline. Your woman can feel all of this. She may be sexually turned on by making you ejaculate. It may please her in the short run. She may even say she feels sexually unfulfilled if you do not ejaculate. But there is also a deeper part of her that has never been sexually fulfilled by you because of your tendency to ejaculate frequently and too soon. Face it, if you are like most men after an ejaculation or two, you really don't want to penetrate or ravish her anymore. You are content to relax in the emptiness of released tension. You don't feel much desire. By strengthening your capacity for the fullest communion sexually, you also strengthen your capacity to dissolve into the source of life and re-emerge soaked in gifts, erect with purpose, and full of desire to give your deepest gifts in the face of worldly resistance to you. A superior man dissolves into the mystery and re-emerges full of love to give again and again without petering out in his sexual relationship with his woman and his creative relationship with the world. This book has so much more in it. I am going to have to make a second video about it. He goes into so much about the polarity between male and feminine energies and how the penetration of one's sex life, how deeply it relates to the way you penetrate the world, the way you can emotionally penetrate the minds of others, the hearts of others, the way you can really leave impressions. in the minds of others. He also goes a lot into non-ejaculatory orgasms and actually the ability to ejaculate up the spine, but this isn't something that I know enough about right now. I definitely am hoping to address these topics somewhere down the line. This book was a true embodiment of how the discipline of brahmacharya can help a man unleash artistry within him and really give him the impeccability and potency to share his gifts with the world. Now, one thing I am curious to know about is, what are your gifts, do you feel? What gifts do you think you can specifically use this potency for to share with the world? Because one of the best ways to make sure that your streak stays intact, or that you just generally are living a life of sexual discipline, is to know what your gift is and what gift you want to share with the world. So I would love to know in the comments below, what is your artistry? It may be really well defined, like you want to be a musician, or it may just be that so far all I know is that I'm an excellent listener, or I'm an excellent pool player, whatever it might be. I'd love to know how your transmuted energy might apply to the grander form of your artistry, because at the end of the day, that is one of the central uses of this energy, to express creatively, of course alongside building up spiritual strength within yourself. If you're new here, my name is Nikhil. This channel is about combining Eastern spirituality alongside Western productivity. I also draw a lot of inspiration from storytelling, cinema, novels, and biographies. So if any of that appeals to you, I would love it if you would subscribe. If you liked the video, please leave it a thumbs up. And if you are a follower of this channel, I would love it if you could actually follow me on Instagram. Pilot season is happening right now, and I have a number of auditions lined up, including the lead actor on a TV show that I'm really excited about. That audition is on January 15th. And casting directors do pay attention to an actor's Instagram following, so I don't say this for any purpose outside of really being able to put my best foot forward for auditions, and maybe securing callbacks and third auditions for the upcoming pilot season. But that being said, just the fact that you made it to the end of this video means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. And for those of us who are willing to build up this potency within us and express our gifts, to us I say, greatness is coming. Cheers, guys. I'll see you in the next one.